guys? Welcome to another episode of the Gin Podcast. This is your host, Gilbert Sanchez. If you're new here, you can call me G. On this podcast, we like to go into people's mindsets, people's beliefs, people's businesses, people's personal things. I mean, all types of shit. Mental illness. That's a huge one for me. I'm chewing on candy right now, so that was a little tripped up for me. Um, Man, I haven't been in the studio for a while, so it's a little. We're getting back into it. I should have one Sunday. I should have one next Wednesday. And yeah, we're rocking and rolling. Last month was fucking terrible. I think I only had 2 episodes September, which was pretty bad. This won't be released for maybe a couple weeks, but the episode you should see already. Yeah, those were the only 2. I think it's like episode 83, episode 84, some shit like that. But other than that, it's been good. Just trying to work, trying to do the 9 to 5 thing, trying to just do my thing, trying to get into this. If if you're not subscribed and you're still listening right here, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, the Gin Podcast. Go ahead and Twitter too. Sometimes I update Twitter before I post on other platforms, Facebook / the Gin Podcast. Where else? TikTok too. I keep telling myself I'm gonna get on TikTok, but yeah, that's probably one of the things I want to get into once we get into this actual conversation. Just because putting yourself out on social media is sometimes a little intimidating. But man, on this episode, this one's been a long time in the making. Just because one, I've seen from the outside, and this is just me coming from the outside in. I've seen the growth. I've seen the work. I've seen the courage. That's a huge word that I like to use, especially when people put themselves out on social media. And I think me and you started following each other for a while. But V, how you doing? How you doing today?
Good. I'm doing good. Just been busy all day.
Yeah.
Training, working, all that stuff.
Before we get into, I guess, how we met and that whole conversation, if you want, is most of your do you do training full time?
Yeah, I do training full time now.
Full time?
hmm
Where did that process come from? Did you have a job before, or when did that?
Well, before I started getting into training, I was doing like CNA work with dementia, Alzheimer's,
Oh, okay,
the
yeah.
elderly and stuff. And I enjoyed it and stuff. But then COVID hit, and people were just getting sick, and I was like just in a tough place. And then I started working out and stuff, and then I just realized like, why not take this full time, especially because I had like, the blessing to be able to pay my bills and be able to like live off of what I had in my savings. And I just decided to go all in with it.
I'm pretty sure you're the first personal trainer or just first trainer I've had on the podcast. So there's a lot of things I want to go into, a lot of stuff I want to talk about. But I think what I wanted to get into before was I think we have a mutual friend, Stephanie.
Yep.
From there, I think y'all go to, which gym is it y'all go to? Might be Body Gym?
Yeah, Body Gym.
Is it the dark one, right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Body Gym.
Okay. So that's the one I've seen. And from there, obviously, if you're familiar with the podcast, you know that Stephanie went to high school together, good friend of mine. And she's been on the podcast before, of course. And then, I just tapped in, started following you.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, damn, I'm trying to figure out. I want to say this was last summer, maybe a little bit after. I don't really remember when I started following you. At that point, this was probably the first thing I kind of want to get into. At that point, I don't think you were making videos yet. I think you were kind of just starting the process of training and the transition. Maybe you could talk about it a little bit more, but when did you, so you started in COVID.
Yeah, I started like, I guess like really trying to intentionally learn more, like how to lose weight, how to properly work out, how to properly incorporate all these things. That's when I really tried to be intentional with my learning and with the things that I was doing. So yeah, I was right after that. I would say I just realized like, if this is something I need to do, like I need to be serious about it and I need to actually go all in with it. And that's when I made the choice. Like it's either this or I just continue with what I was doing. And I wasn't happy with what I was doing. So I got into it. And at that time, I wasn't really posting the way I was posting. I was more or less just like, when you start something new, you gotta kind of be a sponge and soak in everything that you're trying to learn. And, my confidence wasn't at an all-time high at that time as well. So I was just trying to get as many clients as I could. And I started actually I started off with, taking on 3 free clients, like not making them pay or
Oh shit.
anything and just like
Yeah.
trying to like show to get results, to get people to see that I can do what I'm doing and
Yeah.
I'm capable of it. So I took on those 3 clients. I would say I worked with them for about maybe 3 months for free. I got the transformations and then I started kind of like posting pictures and
Yeah.
just stuff like that. Not so much like videos or anything like that that I'm doing now and stuff.
So in order for you to obviously train people, I
Mhm.
would I would think you would have to go through yourself, right?
Yep.
So I've seen your transformation.
Oh yeah.
That one was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if you want to talk about I guess the mental side of where you're at before you started training, and then I guess how you got to the training part, or how who introduced it to you,
Yeah.
or if you just stumbled across it. Yeah, but how was that process for you?
Well, I can say like before I got into like my own transformation,
Yeah,
like I wasn't in a good place, like mentally,
yeah,
physically, like I wasn't doing good. I was out partying all the time, literally Sunday to Sunday, just drinking every day. I would hardly eat.
yeah,
I was just going through it. Like I was in a tough place and I had like a slight mental breakdown and I had to like chill out for a little bit and I realized like I took a second. I guess it was like how can I say this? Like it was like a wake up call because I got really sick from the drinking to my mental health to everything. Like I got stomach ulcers, like I couldn't get out of bed sometimes because I was just so depressed and like I didn't know what truly was for me anymore. Like I was so questioning life and what I'm
yeah,
supposed to do, what's my purpose because I felt like I lost myself, within like trying to go out and please people or trying to like fit in and stuff. And then, I can say that like once I started working out, it really it really helped me with my mental health. It brought me out of a place that I once was from like doing drugs to drinking and stuff. I saw that that wasn't doing nothing for my body. It wasn't doing nothing for my mental health. So I needed to find something to do it. So I ended up going to the gym and just working out, working on myself, working on my mindset. I cut off a lot of people, like not so much of like I said I don't want to talk to y'all no more, but more or less I distant myself
yeah,
and went
yeah,
ghost in a
yeah,
way and just really truly put my time into myself so I could learn who I was all over again. Cause we go from high schoolers to that little weird phase where
yeah,
we just don't know what we're doing. We're just out partying or out doing whatever, no
yeah,
responsibilities. And then somewhere in between that, life hits and you're just like, "Okay, what am I doing?" Like, I
yeah,
can't it's either I stay in this spot and just let life take its toll or whatever, or I make a decision to grow and to figure out who I am, to figure out what it is I want
yeah,
in life and stuff. So, I had that thought for myself, and that's when I got into fitness, and I realized what it did for me mentally and physically. And I was like, "You know what? Like, I could use this and change so many other lives." And, it really I can say, like, I got off my medication for anxiety, for depression, like, I started eating healthy, cleaner foods and stuff, stopped drinking, stopped doing drugs and all that, and it really did help with my confidence. It helped with my body, but most importantly, it helped with my mind. It helped with my mindset, definitely, because that's something everyone struggles with these days is,
yeah,
having negative thoughts or feeling like they're not capable of anything. So I figured like if this works for me, this could work for anybody. It's just
yeah. There's a lot of people that there's there's a ton of things that you said that I want to touch on, but there's a lot of people that stay in that mindset of you get to a point in life where you're figuring out if you're gonna keep doing it or not, or if you're gonna change or do something for your life, and
Mhm.
people stay like that for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
Like I know 50-year-olds
definitely.
wishing that they would have done something totally different.
Mhm.
I say that all the time, but it's fucking true. Like, yeah, it really is true. And another thing you said is just the friends part. Um, I guess my whole thing is that if you did ghost, if you did distance yourself and they're not around, I don't know, maybe they're really friends in the first
Yeah,
place, you know what I mean?
exactly.
But yeah, I wanted to transition into so you started the helping part. That's what I was going to talk about.
Mhm.
That's what I'm doing here, man. Like
Yeah.
that's my whole thing. I like to dive deep into people's minds,
Mhm.
and I'm very curious on how people got to a certain position, because a lot of people think, especially on social media, they see the end product. Like they don't see the behind the scenes and all the
Yeah.
hard work that you're doing off camera. And it's just people expect this shit to happen right away.
Yep.
But when you first started to train, because I know you mentioned it earlier off air,
Mhm.
um, and you first started getting into it, how hard was it to, I guess, was there any intimidation as far as learning correct movements, the nutrition,
Yeah.
going to the gym in general, like people looking at you because
Yeah.
you're like technically a beginner?
Mhm.
Well, was that your first time stepping into a gym, or like
Mm,
did you previously were you in sports
it
or anything like that?
it was my I wasn't in sports or anything, but it was my first time, like, actually trying to be intentional with it. Like, I would
I got
go,
you. Yeah,
like, every once in a while, do cardio, but
yeah,
nothing like what I was doing, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah,
And I could say, like, the first time really being in there like that, it was intimidating as heck. Like, I didn't know what I was doing, like, properly,
yeah,
and there's so many people in there that do know what they're doing, and you know, you look around and you think like, "Oh, they're probably looking at me all weird, like, I don't know what
yeah,
I'm doing," and so, it can be scary at first, and it was scary for me, you know, it was a uncomfortable thing for me to do, but, you know, you gotta force yourself to actually do these things if you want it that badly, like, it's not something that you can just be afraid of for your whole life or you're just gonna be stuck. Like
yeah,
with anything else, if you're too scared to jump into something, you're gonna be stuck. So for me, I would just tell myself like, you know, I painted an image in my head of where I wanted to be within the next 6 months. And I kept that with me and I told myself like, what is your reasoning behind this? Like what's your solid why gonna be?
yeah,
So I had to make it something super important, something that was gonna touch me at my heart so I could keep pushing myself to go. Cause man, there was days where I was just like, I don't wanna do this. Like I wanna go drink or I wanna
yeah.
go
It's
eat
easier.
whatever, you know?
It's easier. Yeah,
Especially like
yeah,
with the nutrition too, like, you know, you're not gonna wanna like right off the jump be disciplined into eating chicken, rice, broccoli, or like not eating Chick-fil-A or Whataburger or Wingstop every day. You're not gonna wanna
yeah,
cut that out at first, but it's slow habits that you need to pick up, like, slowly incorporate that into your routine, into your life, and to try and make it a lifestyle rather than a chore. Because, you know, it's so easy to just stop and pick up food and stuff, but you gotta remember, like, you're doing this for a reason
mhm,
and keep that reason in your head, you know, to keep eating that stuff, keep going to the gym, keep showing up and putting in the work because even for someone where that I'm a personal trainer and I still, like, look back at that and I'm like, it was hard for me. I tell all my clients, like, we were all in the same shoes at one point.
yeah,
Like, we all started somewhere and it was all tough. Like, it was tough for all of us. And you just gotta remember that it's not gonna feel uncomfortable forever. It's not gonna, you know, be a waste of time. Like, all this stuff, all the work you're putting in, all the time you're putting in, and all the dedication and discipline that you're doing, it's gonna pay off,
yeah,
and it's gonna get you to your goal. You just gotta be patient with it.
yeah. I think people can't see the, like, I guess I wouldn't call it maybe a destination, maybe an
Mhm.
end goal. Can't really see it because one, they've never been there before.
Yeah.
I think once you do a transformation like yours, or if you
Yeah.
do a cut, or if you do a bodybuilding show or anything
Mhm.
like that, the next time around, there's a lot of lessons I'm sure you learn.
Yeah.
You know that you can do it again. So for people that are just starting out, they can't really go past. This is my opinion,
Yeah.
but I this is what I think. They can't really go past the damn. Am I really gonna make it? Is that even
Yeah.
obtainable for me? Like if I start eating right, if I start going to the gym.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask your transformation, or your cut, you're losing weight. How much was that? How many pounds? What did you go from?
Let
Do
me
you remember?
see. I think when I first started truly doing it, I was at least 165. 165 and I got down to 134.
Jesus,
Yeah,
that's a good amount.
and that's like that was me because like once I start something like within myself, like
Yeah,
if I don't do it, like I'm gonna get mad at myself. But I know for some people it's a little tough. But I can say like it took me about maybe a year to actually do that. And there was times where I did mess up, and there was times where I did go eat out
yeah,
or didn't show up to the gym. But you know, you got to be you got to be balanced with it. You
yeah. It
can't.
just it just all comes down
Mhm.
consistency, right?
Yep.
Like I mean, I'm sure you look back on that year. That was probably one of the best years of your life. I'm sure you went
Yeah.
through a whole different change
Yeah,
of
for
the
sure.
mindset.
Not even like with my body, but my mindset, like it was out of this world. Like I never thought that my mind could think the way that it was thinking,
Yeah,
especially from the experiences that I've had in my lifetime. Like I've never been like a positive person. I've never been somebody that was so like goal oriented or like so determined to get to somewhere. Before that, I was just so like, okay, whatever it is, what it is, this is my life and this is how it's gonna play out. But I can't say like the changing your body is one thing, but the mindset growth that you
Mhm.
have through the process is like out of this world. Like it's something that I
Yeah.
wish everyone could experience.
It'll stay forever. Like you
Mhm.
can obviously you can get old, you're gonna either get bigger, gets like whatever happens.
Yeah.
But the knowledge you get is that shit stays forever, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I wanted to ask you, you mentioned the motivation part, or you kind of just alluded to it.
Mhm.
How was that for you? Like, have you always had that? Did something change when you got sick, or
Mhm.
whenever you started working out? Did it just come with you, or
The motivation, honestly, motivation wasn't like something that I always had.
yeah,
Like motivation is something that came and it went. It's just like feelings, one day you're happy or one
yeah,
day
yeah,
one moment you're sad and then it just goes away. So I would say I try to learn to be disciplined, like to be disciplined and consistent with myself. And like I said, in growing up, I never was motivated. Like even in school, like I didn't care. Like I didn't want to read. I didn't want to write. I didn't care about
yeah,
anything. Like I was just going through the motions and just trying to get through it. And this is the one thing that I've stuck to. And it's just like once you see the progress and the results, it's going to motivate you and it's going to make you
yeah.
want to go even harder because they will come. The results will come and you're going to see it. It's just a matter of like staying consistent with it.
Yeah, I think that just going back to the things that you never actually obtained before,
Hmm.
like you can't see it. People that never been that far, or never reached that mindset, they don't know. Like they don't know what's on the other
Hmm.
side. Yeah, it's very hard to switch people's minds into getting into a routine,
Yeah.
into being disciplined, just because 9 times out of 10 they don't want to do it from themselves.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like they don't. You can't. Like if I'm telling you something and it's the right thing,
Yeah.
but you don't want to do it, like there's no there's it's not gonna happen either way. Like you still don't
Yeah.
want to do it. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can only help people that want to help themselves.
Yeah, it's
I
all
guess
up to you.
yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, well that's good. I'm glad for me it's a little bit different because I wouldn't say I was going through the motion in school. Like I always had a reason to do good. Like for
Mhm.
me, seeing my and this is not a knock to my family, this is not a knock to my brothers and sisters, but for me, I was always quote unquote a rebellion to what I saw on the outer side. Like
Yeah.
my sisters didn't graduate, my mom didn't graduate. Like I was the first to graduate from YouTube like get my degree, my bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
I think my whole family might be one other person. But shit like that, I was like, if I can, I'm gonna do the opposite. Like this is y'all over here, and this is
Yeah.
not something that I've probably actually never talked about, but everybody's over here. I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah.
Like what's over here, and what can I obtain over here? And yeah, it's been cool ever since. Like
Yeah, that's good.
getting that degree, getting into. I do work out too, um, not as much as I should, but I do work out, and I can probably show you some transformation pics now that I look at it. Because
Yeah, that'd be
man, I
tight.
did a. You're familiar with well, I mean, you're wearing Alpha Elite, so
Mhm.
Christian he does like a summer shredding
Oh, yeah.
every summer. Shit, in 2018, I did a cut. Shouldn't have been doing a cut because definitely should have put on more weight.
Yeah.
But I was 205 and I got down to 180. So what is that? 25
Dang,
pounds.
that's
And this
really
was
good.
from April 1st to June 15th. So what
Yeah.
is that? About 2 months and a half.
Dang.
Yeah, so it was
Dang, that's
quick.
crazy.
Yeah, so I was eating. Started off with like 28. Like I did the whole thing. Like I first got introduced to Christian 2017, and then man, just fucking deep dive into his videos. I think that's when I started really getting into the whole fitness journey for me.
Yeah.
Dive deep into his video YouTube videos, very educational. Started like counting macros,
Yeah.
started learning how to do that, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. If it doesn't work out, you know what, cool. If it does, and yeah, so shit from that, yeah, that point on, I'm fucking 25 pounds, and I
Dang.
know, yeah, I shouldn't have cut it just because I was at 205, and I should have put on more weight and then cut it,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just know what's obtainable, and it's a lifestyle too because the foods I was eating now, you can
Mhm.
ask her like it's the foods I'm eating to this day. Like
Yeah.
I'll make a chicken rice, like beans and like a chipotle bowl at
Yeah.
home, like something like that. Maybe a little bit of sauce on the side. Um, if I'm feeling like I want to cheat a little, I'll probably put some cheese, some sour cream. Like
Yeah.
it's still the same foods to this day, but like that will never change. Like even now, like she trips out because um obviously to count calories you have to weigh your food.
Yeah,
I weigh my food like every single
every
time. Like
day.
I'll make pancakes and I'll
Yeah.
weigh my food. Like it's so crazy. But that's the part I want to get into is the nutrition side. So when you started doing your transformation, obviously nutrition is a big part of losing weight. So
Mhm.
how hard for that was you for you?
And that was tough. It was really tough because, like, one, when I first started, like, I wasn't really knowledgeable on it. I would just try to read as much as I could and stuff. But me, like I said, in school, I was never good with like writing, reading, and stuff like that. So I was barely learning like how to study or like how to
Yeah, same here.
take
Yeah.
things in and remember what I'm like actually reading and stuff. But it was tough. It was tough because you gotta get used to eating those types of food. Like it's not bad food. Like you can literally eat spaghetti every night and you could still lose weight. Like it's not bad food, but
Yeah.
we're just so like accustomed to going and eating Whataburger and that's normal for us. That's what tastes good to us. And those things they just there are cravings and everything. But once I started really like eating clean because I got those stomach ulcers and I really had to cut out a lot of stuff. It was definitely a challenge. I can say, like, sometimes, like, I didn't even wanna eat just because, like,
Yeah.
my body wasn't craving those things, but once, like, I can say I started learning new habits with it and being consistent with it, it becomes, like, a part of you. Like, you
Yeah.
start to not crave Whataburger, you start to not crave soda, like, you start to not crave all those things, and instead, you're actually your body's actually asking you, like, "Feed me these things." Because
Mhm.
once you like, I remember I was going hard, like, for a good maybe month, not having no cheat meals, no nothing, and I went and I ate I think it was Chick-fil-A or something like that. Man, I felt so sick after, like, my stomach was like, "No,
It was
what are you
just so used
doing?"
to the
Yeah.
clean food or I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it was tough giving up all that stuff, especially with people around you, like, when people around you aren't eating the same things you're eating and they have, like, chips right by you,
Mhm.
you're just like, "Damn, get those away
Yeah.
from me because I wanna eat those," So it can be tough in the beginning, but like I said, once you really get consistent with it and you give it time, it becomes new habits. You let go of old habits and you get
Mhm.
grow new habits.
Yeah, do you remember the last time do you drink soda?
No,
No?
I don't
Do you
drink
remember the
soda.
last time you drank soda?
Well, okay, let me fix that. I drink diet soda or,
Okay,
like,
it's yeah,
Coke
yeah.
Zero and stuff, but
No,
the
I
last
gotcha.
time I drank actual soda, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
I can't even remember, honestly, because I think I drank a Coke once. I tried to drink it, it didn't taste the same, like, it just
Yeah,
wasn't it,
it's
like
different.
mhm.
Yeah, for me, I'll do Coke and Sprite, but, like, once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Like, all I drink is water. Like, I it's different, like, ever since I
Yeah.
gave up soda, it's a different thing for me, like, it tastes different.
Yeah.
It's, you can literally taste the fucking sugar
Yeah.
within the
Yeah, it's like an
like
addiction, like, it's
yeah,
literally like
it's
an
crazy.
addiction, and once you stop, you don't really crave it no more? Like,
Yeah.
junk food, any sugar is gonna be like an addiction, so your body's gonna automatically crave those things, but once you start drinking a lot more water and drinking maybe diet
Mhm.
stuff, and then you're not gonna crave those things no more. It's
Yeah.
just you gotta give yourself time.
I made some fries, like some homemade fries, and I use like canola oil, like
Mhm.
just regular oil you buy from. And I've made potatoes, like chopped up potatoes, just in an air fryer, just
Yeah.
literally just salt and maybe like some butter spray or something, like nothing too crazy. And you can literally taste the fucking grease on the fucking
Yeah.
like the fries that you make with the oil. Like it's just
Yeah.
crazy. Like I don't feel sick, but I'm just like, damn, this is kind of disgusting.
Yeah,
Like
and then you start to think like, "Man, how do they actually cook these things?" Like,
yeah, yeah,
especially when you're used to your home cooking and you go and eat that, your taste buds are just like, "Mm-mm, this
yeah.
ain't it." You
Yeah,
can taste
well,
everything in it.
I can tell you it's way worse than what you make at home if you're using the regular oil
Oh,
because
yeah.
fast food restaurants, man, yeah, they use just straight
Anything.
oil. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
just straight oil. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Talking to nutrition to your clients, is
Mhm.
that hard? Is that hard telling them what to eat? Any pushback? Like what's the process been like that for you?
Man, yeah, it's tough at first because, a lot of people think when you wanna lose weight, you gotta eat less, like salads all day.
Yeah,
They think you just
yeah,
need to pick up a salad and that's all you need to eat all day is 3 salads a day. I used to think like that too. I remember years ago, I used to think, "Okay, Imma eat these salads all day." I would get the ones from HEB, those
yeah,
little ones,
yeah,
and
yeah,
just eat them. So, talking to them and when I give them their first meal plan, they're just like, "Damn, that's a lot of food. I
yeah.
don't know if I can finish it." But you know, they I can say like 3 weeks in, they get their metabolism speeds up, and then they get hungry and start eating it. But it is tough to make them consistent with it, or to get them to be consistent with it. I've noticed, like, the clients that really want it, they're consistent with it. But the clients that, they have a trouble with actually, like, believing in themselves and pushing themselves, it's a little tricky. But I always tell them too, like, so for me personally, with my clients, every week when I make their meal plans, I reach out to them and say, "Hey, is there anything you are craving?" Because with macros, you can
Yeah.
fit a lot of, at least it's home cooked meals, you can fit a lot of different stuff in that. Like, you don't just need to eat like a bodybuilder, like chicken, rice, and broccoli all day.
Mhm.
Like, there's different stuff you can put in there. I remember one time I gave one of my clients buffalo chicken pasta, something like that,
Yeah.
and she was fine eating that. It's just finding the things that you're gonna enjoy so that you can consistently wanna keep eating those meals, and it's tough for them at first, it's really tough, and it can be tough for anyone, but I would just
Yeah.
say they always, the one thing that they always struggle with is saying it's a lot of food, 'cause, people just wake up and they'll have coffee and then go and through their whole day not eating and then have dinner and that's it.
Yeah, I
So
think I was the same way too. Yeah, for sure eating less was my go-to. Like, I was
mhm.
just like, yeah, this is the way. And to an extent, it can be, but it's definitely not the route to go. Like, I
Yeah.
will tell 100%, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, I was eating 28 calories when I did my cut, and that's a good amount of
Yeah,
food.
that's a good amount.
Sometimes, um, yeah, I've eaten 3,400 calories, and
Yeah.
that's a good amount of food.
Yeah, a lot of people these days, they eat like toddlers. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I can say one client I got a long time ago, I had her send me what she normally eats in a day, because that's what I have everyone send me just so I could see what they're like
Mhm.
eating right now, and I think she was eating about 1,700 calories, and that's, like, for a
Mhm.
toddler to eat, so it's like we're starving our bodies,
Mhm.
we're not nourishing our bodies the way that we should, and it really plays a big effect on not only your body, but your hormones, your mental health, like, your energy levels, all
Yeah,
that stuff. It all gets messed up when you're not properly taking care of your nutrition and the way you're nourishing your body.
yeah. I'm gonna go with something else.
No, you're good.
Yeah, for sure, the eating less
Mhm.
was a huge misconception for me, and then I started to lose weight, and when I started eating more, and it's just all because your body is burning calories,
Mhm.
shit, while you sleep,
Yep.
while you're doing regular activities at work. If you're sitting down, it's a little bit different. Obviously, when you lift weights, when you
Yeah.
do cardio, I mean, you're burning calories there
Yeah.
too. So that's all goes into effect. So
Mhm.
yeah, if there's a certain breakdown, I'm not gonna get into it, but there's a certain breakdown that, like, a ratio as far as what you have to eat versus what you burn. But
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
it's always tough trying to tell somebody like, hey, you should be eating more,
Yeah.
um, because you're doing cardio, you're lifting weights, or you're
Yeah.
walking, or you have 10,000 steps when you're at work, shit like
Yeah.
that.
I
So
feel like no one's really taught any of us, like, you need to make sure you're eating a lot of food. Like, people
yeah,
just, like, when we see it on TV or on commercials or models and stuff, they say, "Oh, I don't really eat all that carbs. I don't eat that much protein. I stick to eating these little meals." And so we learn from what we see.
yeah,
And in, like, this world or like, social media doesn't teach us the things that we should be learning, especially when it comes to nutrition. Like, I feel like it's so frowned upon to actually eat healthy, to eat good, like, 'cause I can say so many times I've taken my meal prep to different places, different events, and someone's always calling out like, "Oh, you're on your little
it's a
diet." It's
diet.
not even
Yeah,
a
it's not.
diet,
It's
I'm
just
just trying to eat
it's just a
right, you know what I
lifestyle at
mean?
this point.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I got you. Same here. Like, when I first, like, my whole fitness thing, shit, like, my first gym membership was in 2015, and yeah, I was, at that point, I was living with my mom, and my brother and sister were staying with me too, or in an apartment with us,
Mhm.
and, it was always on a diet, like, "What's on your
Yeah.
diet today?" And at first it was, because I wanted to see what was the change, but
Yeah.
then it got to 2017, 2018, and that shit was just a lifestyle. Like,
Yeah.
it's what I eat at this point. Like,
Mhm.
it's not even a diet. It's just
Yeah.
what I'm craving.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say too, I think it just comes down to the culture, right? Like, you just the Hispanic, the
Yeah.
Mexican culture, your rice, beans, tortillas,
Yep.
all the bakery stuff, like, all that's just I wouldn't consider
Yeah.
it bad, but I mean, you're raised on this stuff where
Yeah.
you really, once you get older, I mean, it's just,
It's
yeah,
just something that you're used to, yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
bad.
I feel like I remember one time I forgot where I was, and I saw this little girl, she was probably, like, maybe 7 years old, and she had one of those, Mexican Cokes, like the
Yep.
ones with like actual sugar and
The
everything.
tall
And
one.
man, she
Yeah, yeah.
was chugging it, chugging it, chugging it. I was like, dang, like that's why people are so used to
Yep.
eating those things and drinking those things to the point where when it comes to like eating like, healthier choices and stuff, it's weird for them. Like it's a diet for them
Mhm.
instead of a lifestyle. But honestly, once you start to incorporate it little by little, it becomes a lifestyle for
Yeah.
everybody. You get used to it. It's new habits that you're forming.
Yeah, I wish school would have taught nutrition.
Yeah.
I think they did to certain I think you might have to take an elective class for it,
Yeah.
like some shit like that. I wish parents, that's one thing, obviously, you're being taught as as you're growing up.
Mhm.
For me, it was a little bit different. 1, I didn't have my dad. 2, my mom was always working, so her putting time for that, I don't think it
Yeah.
just wasn't it. Um, so finding that part as far as the nutrition, it was a whole different world. Like,
Yeah.
it changed everything. And even now, it's still a diet when I go over
Yeah.
to, like, family gatherings or when I go over to, um, certain people's houses, and it's just like, nah, it's just like, I don't drink soda. I don't eat
Yeah.
like, I mean, granted, now it's a little bit different. I do eat pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. But it's just the transition I'm going through right now. Like, I figured if let's see, the last time I weighed myself, I was 225. So I'm trying to get to 235 and I want to do a cut. But that's just me talking about personal goals.
Yeah. I feel like,
But
once you're gonna get to a certain point where you are gonna wanna eat out again, but it's like I said earlier, like, it's all about creating a balance. You don't need
yeah,
to completely cut those things out. Like, you can enjoy your life and enjoy time out with families at family functions, drink a beer if you want to and stuff, or go eat that Whataburger every now and then, but it's all about finding a balance with it and making sure that you get right back on track during like, maybe on your weekends, those are if you're okay with that, like, you're okay with setting yourself back a little bit and enjoying your weekends, eating whatever it is, I don't recommend it to my clients. But,
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
some people are they're okay with that. So you just gotta find a balance, "Okay, Imma eat this Saturday, Imma eat this Sunday, but once Monday hits, I'm gonna get right back on track, eat what I gotta eat, show up to the gym, do my cardio, and I'll be good." It's
Yeah,
all about finding your personal balance with it. You don't
yeah.
need to, how do you say, deprive yourself from enjoying those family functions or enjoying that fast food, it's just finding balance with it.
Yeah, I figured out what I was gonna say earlier. The overconsumption part, like, they're
Mhm.
not, especially when I was younger, there was no point in, um just there was no limit. Like, if you wanted McDonald's fries, you can have a large.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
especially when I was a kid, if you wanted chicken nuggets, you can get a 10, 20 piece. Like,
Mhm.
there was no
Limit.
limit for myself or like anybody in general. Like, I was just growing up, it was just totally different for me. So when I started putting limits and didn't over consume certain foods, because me personally, I think that's what most people have a problem with is like the spaghetti you were talking about.
Mhm.
I think you mentioned
Mhm.
buffalo chicken pasta or something like
Yeah.
that. Like, if you eat 3 times of what that was,
Yeah.
like, obviously that's
Yeah, it's all about
yeah,
that. I remember growing up, me too, like, I didn't have my dad. My mom, she wasn't really too much of a guidance. Like, it was
yeah,
more of having my friend there. Like, I love my mom, but, like, it was more of she was my friend. So,
yeah,
I remember she was on food stamps and stuff. We'd go to HEB. She'd tell us, "Get whatever." So, me and my sister getting Hot Pockets,
yep,
burritos, corn dogs, all that stuff. And I never thought, "Look at the nutrition label. Read that nutrition label," because on the nutrition label, it says, like, a serving size. And so, now fast forward to now, like, everything I pick up, I look at a nutrition label because you can enjoy chips, you can enjoy, pizza pockets, you can enjoy things like that, but it's all about the serving size and not
yeah.
overeating things and not going over your limits. Like, just pay attention to those
Mhm.
things, measure them out, and, you'll be good. Like, you just need to, like, it's about learning those types of things.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah, same here. It's gotten to a point now where I do know nutrition labels. Like, I'm sure
Mhm.
you can attest to, because I'm sure you eat sometimes the same foods every so
Yeah.
often. You like your grocery list is probably the same,
Yeah.
similar to what I or similar to what I have. But I want to get back to the clients. Biggest transformation right now, I guess, what would that be from one of your clients? Whether if it's like pounds lost, inches, because for you, right, you go mostly towards girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so I work with nothing but women. If any men ask for my help, I'll help them, but
Yep.
my goal is to help as many women as possible, and I can say the biggest transformation I have right now is I have this one of my clients, she lost, I believe, 35 pounds in,
That's
I can't
crazy.
even
That's what's
think
up.
how long, but it's just crazy because not only did she lose that 35 pounds, she tells me how much more confident she is,
Yeah.
like how much better she fits in her clothes, like the way she can walk around and just walk into a room and not feel like, shy or scared or
Hmm.
uncomfortable. So yeah, that's my biggest transformation. It's something amazing. Like I love to see these transformations within these women because a lot of them just feel like they're not capable of doing it.
Yeah, I want to get into, I guess, just being a woman in your I guess, profession, the
Mhm.
personal training. Um, has that part been tough? Because for I wouldn't say for a while, but I guess just in general, there's a stigma towards women not really knowing how to properly train.
Mhm.
I guess now it's a little bit different because there's social media and there's a lot more.
Yeah.
But is there any, like, do you feel less confident when you're posting certain things on social media because you are a girl versus a like a
Yeah.
boy, a man?
Um, I can say in the beginning, yeah, I would have like, some setbacks because of that. I
Yeah,
wouldn't let myself go all in because, working out, a lot of people see it as a man's thing to do, like something that women shouldn't be doing or aren't capable of doing. But I feel like as I've grown with this and as I've learned, like, you know, I'm a woman and I work with nothing but women. So we have a lot of things that we can relate
yeah,
to
yeah.
and a lot of things that I can help them with, especially if I've gone through it myself. So I can say to this day, it doesn't really phase me too much. There has been like comments from people and stuff where, oh, a woman shouldn't do this, or
Yeah.
like a woman doesn't know how to properly lift weights, how to, progressive overload, stuff like that. But it's all about what you learn and what
Mhm.
you're willing to take in and go and read and go and try and study more about. We all have the same things offered to us, like Google books and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's all about your mindset and what you want to take in from that and what you're willing to learn from that.
Yeah, there just be some haters, honestly. There's
Yeah.
just some haters out there, man. I've been through it. I'm my whole life, man. I'm not even gonna lie. My whole life is just people just talking crazy.
Hmm.
As far as evolution training goes, we missed out on Julie. She was supposed to be a part of this, but nonetheless, I wanted to still talk about it
Hmm.
because that's a huge thing for you. Because not only were you, I'm assuming, not only were you personal training,
Yeah.
but at this point you're doing it together. So
Yeah.
that's, to me, that's a big thing. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a step forward into something totally different.
Yeah.
So, what was the whole transition on the evolution training? Like, why you did it? How did that came about?
So first we first started off with, we did one boot camp together, as because before I got into evolution training, before we created that team, I had a V movement, that was my thing, and hers was Julie Fitness, and so we just put it together, we collabed, did the boot camp, and we would just bounce off each other with
Yeah,
ideas and different ways to go about things, and we were just very like minded, and I feel like having two people work as one for a team, it can help our clients in so many different ways, from learning new things from each other, or maybe she can step in and show my client this, or I can step in and show her client that. And then just having two brains to
yeah.
working together to create a team and to give out as much knowledge and, motivation as possible. It just works. And I can say we've done pretty good together. Like I said, we bounce off each other very
Mhm.
well. She motivates me, I motivate her. Whenever I'm going through something, she always reminds me, like, this is just like a bump in the road, but you're just gonna push through. Same thing for her. So yeah.
Yeah, how's the boot camps been? I know you've had 3, 4? How many have you had?
Man, I think we've
More?
had a good amount. We had a good amount so far because we usually do
Yeah,
them once a month. I can't remember when we first started. It was last year, or
yeah.
maybe it was this year when it was still cold out and everything, but maybe about 8. But they've been
Oh,
going
shit,
really
more than
good.
that, yeah.
Yeah. They've been going really good. I enjoy them. I love to, meet new people and
Mhm.
network with new people and just show people that they are, cuz it's sometimes reaching out to a coach or reaching out to a trainer and getting in the gym is just a little too much for somebody.
Yeah,
But
it's intimidating for sure.
so
Yeah.
for the boot camps, and we do hit workouts for them, if they push through it. A lot of everyone that comes to the boot camps, they push through it and they go hard, and it just shows them like, okay, if I can get through this 1 hour workout, why can't I go to the gym?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it shows people like what they're capable of, and like I said, I enjoy like meeting new people and just putting on the workouts for them.
When's are y'all having a boot camp this month, next month?
Yes, we're
Let me
gonna
see.
have one in October. We don't have a set date for it, but be on the lookout for that. We do post it on Instagram. We post it on our team page, both of our Instagram pages, and then also as well as Facebook.
Gotcha. What about November? You think you'll have one in November?
Yes,
Yeah?
we
So
we
pretty
try
much
to
every
do them
month?
every month, once a month.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so look out for that. There's yeah, I've seen a couple of those. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah,
Y'all
they're
had one
fun.
at fucking Hills and Dales. I thought
Hills
that
and
was pretty
Dales.
dope.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool. It was a little hot that day, but I mean, it's cool that you can like. It's kind of, to me personally, I like to wanted to do it there because it can show like, I don't know if I'm thinking too deep into it, but it shows that you can still be somewhere like that and still live a good lifestyle,
Yeah.
like still live a healthy lifestyle.
No, that's yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was something that I wanted to touch on before. First thing I want to touch on, but now I'm going back to it. Putting yourself on social media. You went into a transition where you weren't, or you just putting clients on social media. But
Yeah.
now, for me, I've seen that you're making reels, you're making
Yeah.
videos. That's definitely starting off as for me for sure. That was nerve wracking. Like it took me.
Mhm.
I say this all the time. It took me 3 weeks to post something on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook after I got my camera. Like it took me a
Yeah.
good while. It was repetition, practice. But how was that for you? Is it intimidating now? Then how's that been?
I can say at first, man, it was tough. It was really tough because you got to get past your own insecurities, your own thoughts of like, oh, what is this person going to think? Or what is this person going to say? Or like, who's going to see this and
Yeah.
stuff. So it was tough at first. And it's still tough to this day. Sometimes I'll be like, I'll overlook a video, overwatch it and be like, nah, I'm not going to post it. But I have mentors in my life and like people where I surround myself that remind me like, if you really want to do this, you need to just put yourself out there. Don't be
Hmm.
afraid. Like, because you don't know who's gonna watch and you don't know who this is gonna help or who it's gonna touch. So what I can say is like it has gotten easier, but I know that it can be tough at first just to speak
Hmm.
up. Like for me personally, I don't like the way I sound on video. Like I
You're gonna
just
hate this.
I can't listen to it. Like I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
I sound so cringe. But it was tough at first. It's still tough to this day. But
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I just want to help and touch as many people as possible. And today in this time, social media is the way to do that. And I just want to grow as a person, grow my business, grow for evolution training, and
Mhm.
just like I said, help as many people as possible. And the reels and the videos definitely help with that. But they don't only help with that; they help with my self confidence too.
Yeah.
Because seeing people like comment like, "Oh, this helped me," like it just shows like, okay, you are doing something that you want to do. You are touching lives, and you are helping these people that you're trying to help.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get the misconception of there's a ton of people out there that are intimidated to reach out. And
Mhm.
when seeing those videos, one, it's free, and two, they don't actually got to reach out to anybody. They can
Yeah.
just see it there.
Yeah.
So I think that's dope. I've always admired, I've always respect people that actually put their self on social media because me personally, I know how hard that is. I
Yeah.
know the struggle. I know I've had insecurities growing up. I have shit sometimes even now too. It's very intimidating putting myself on social media, depending on what I clip up from the podcast,
Yeah.
what I want to put on TikTok. But it's just overcoming that. I know, and I can tell from your standpoint, the helping part, the why
Mhm.
part, it just has to overcome
Yeah,
like
you
that.
have to
That's
overcome
basically
it.
what it is. Like it just literally, you just have to put this right here, the why,
Mhm.
the how. I mean, not the why, the what you're doing it for.
Yeah.
And once you put it out, like you said, there's a reward, there's a
Mhm.
satisfaction that comes from it. But
And like the same thing as like with working out or starting something new, you at first maybe it's hard and maybe it's not exactly how you want it, but
mhm,
the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it and the better you get. Like I can say the first time I talked in front of the camera, I was stuttering, like I was like messing up, did like at least 10 different videos, but now I'm just like just roll with the punches,
it's
just talk
clockwork.
and
Yeah,
just get yourself out there and like be comfortable with it. Be confident in yourself that you can do this.
I've seen the progression. I'm not even gonna
Oh,
lie.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I've
Thank you.
seen the progression. It's
Yeah.
like I said, it's the same thing that with me. I mean, if you go back to my videos in 2020, shit, they're on YouTube where I was sitting down on by myself. Yeah, I was what you're seeing right now
Yeah.
is something totally different back then.
Yeah.
So I've seen the progression. And it's like I said, I've always admired it. I've always respected. Putting yourself out there is yeah, it's fucking hard. So
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah, of course. Future goals for yourself, for your clients, for Evolution Training. Yeah, what do you got in mind? What are you
Man,
thinking?
future goals, future goals.
Yeah, it can be personal. It can be
Personally,
yeah,
my future goals is I definitely want to put on more muscle mass and stuff like that. So be more consistent in the
yeah.
gym, but also like something that I really, really want to get into is like motivational speaking because me personally growing up, I never had anyone tell me that I'm capable of doing so much more. Instead, it was more of like you're not doing nothing with your life, so
Yeah.
what's the point? So I feel
Yeah.
like if I like one thing I've said for myself the one goal I have in this life is to touch as many people as possible. So I can say within the next year, I want to start at least making some type of videos or something to like just motivate people and get them to realize like you're deserving and you're capable of so much more than you may think and everything like that. But as far as clientele, man, goals for them, I just want to, I think in the next, by January, I want to help at least 50 more women like get to their goal and get to realizing that they are capable of getting the body they want and they are capable of reaching that mindset that they should have, being positive and realizing that there's so much more to life than where they're stuck. For evolution training, man, we're just trying to grow as much as possible. Like same
Yeah.
thing for my personal goals with clients and stuff. Like we just want to touch as many people as possible and help them become better people and help them get to their physique goals and get to their mindset goals and stuff. We have a lot of stuff in the works that I can't really speak on and stuff like that, but definitely just grow more as a team. Grow more, help more people and touch more people's lives.
Yeah, there's a shit for this conversation. There's a lot of things I see similarities. There's a lot of goals
Mhm.
we have similar, so it's dope. The mindset's there. I've always said that if you have the mindset that yeah,
Yeah.
nothing's incapable. But shit, man, I wish y'all nothing but the best. I've seen the progression. I've seen the grind. I've seen yeah, just the overall take as far as on what social media is. I'm sure it's way different in real life because of all the fucking work y'all
Yeah.
been doing. There's only a certain amount that you can see on social media, but I know the process. I know
Yeah.
the process is tough, and yeah, man, I wish y'all nothing but the best. I think reaching out to you to y'all was yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming here because I learned a lot about you, and like I said, I always like diving deep into people's head, and it's fucking dope to see the type of mindset, the type of person you are.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate
Yeah.
you for having me on here too. Like I see a lot of the stuff you post and everything, so it's cool seeing you out here doing your thing. Because a lot of people, they think too much into it and they hold themselves back from being where they truly want to be and doing
Right.
the things they really want to do. So seeing you out here, not caring what others think and
Yeah,
still
yeah,
working at your 9 to 5 or whatever, and doing putting in the time for this too, that shows a lot of you as a person and what you really want out this life.
yeah. Man, I'm grinding.
Yeah,
It's fucking hard. I'm
it's
not even
grind
gonna
time.
lie. Yeah,
But
it's fucking
eventually,
hard.
all this stuff will pay off.
Yeah,
Everything pays off.
100%. If people want to find you, Evolution Training, shit. If you wanna shout out Julie too, her Instagram name, you can do that too.
Yeah, so my Instagram is imv_. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok as well for the same thing. Julie's is Julie Fitness. Honestly, I cannot think of her exact at name,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, you're
if
good.
you look at my page, you'll find her as well. And then our team page is Evolution Training. So definitely check that out. We do offer a lot of tips, free tips, um, different things on there. You'll get a lot of nutrition tips, workout tips, mindset tips, everything. You just get more of a picture of what we offer and who we are as a person.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Shit, we'll cap it off right there. If you're still listening right now, go ahead and subscribe. YouTube, go ahead and follow. Obviously, you can follow me personal. You can follow me on the podcast page, the Gym Podcast, everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, it's been a dope conversation. I
Yeah.
appreciate you again.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, if we ever get back, if you ever get Julie to come up here, man, I would love to do it.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I would love to
Sure.
do it. But yeah, man. Until next time, peace, guys.
Peace.